What's up, David? Today's episode for you is your Scavenger hilt by KR Sabers, and it's running the Scavenger sound font by my buddy Jesse over at Kyberphonic. All right, so there is a lot going on with this guy, Goth Master Chassis. We're going to go over at my desk. I'll show you how to use it. You do have to be careful when you're operating this. Putting the chassis in, taking it out, operating it, all takes like a certain touch. All right, so I'll go over all that in detail and get this out in the mail to you tomorrow. Thanks, man. All right, David, let's go over your Scavenger hilt from KR Sabers. A beautiful hilt, very complicated production hilt. This was a very impressive hilt when it comes to props. You've got your steel heat stained pedals here. Your original ones are in the box that I'll leave in there. This entire mechanism right here is just ridiculous. You got a KR Sabers lit PCB in there. This is a one button setup. Your one switch is on this rotary. So when you open these pedals to put your blade in, if you go just a millimeter further, you're gonna feel a click. That is your switch. All right, I'm gonna close this up. To get to your chassis, this is a J-lock system. So turn it clockwise until it stops, gently pull it out. Your pommel might come off of your chassis, that's okay. Don't force anything. Let me get over this desk here. When you get to about right here, a good rule of thumb is you've got a screw here and you've got a screw here. All right, these need to be aligned properly with the chassis for it to come out. And there is a groove in between these two tubes and these two tubes. So when you're pulling it out, make sure that you keep one of these screws in between the two tubes. I'm gonna pull this out of the pommel real quick and tell you what I'm talking about. You can see this groove right here comes all the way down past right the middle of these silver tubes. There's another groove right here that you can see. That's what helps align the chassis so that these two nubs right here fit in properly with that piece that's in there. You can barely see it, but if you see on the top and bottom there, it's got two grooves that these little nubbins align to. All right, so you got to be careful for that. This is your master chassis. All right, you have another switch right here so that you can operate the chassis outside of the Saber, and we will do that here in a second. Your crystal chamber, your chamber has two doors that you can open. Do this carefully. Right here, you can open that one. It's on there with one magnet to see your crystal chamber, and then when you push it in, go like that. You can come over here, you can open this other one the same way to see it, or you could close it just like that. So you've got your crystal, you've got a spinning plasma gate in here. The crystal has a single LED coming down here. It's hard to see, but you have a little resin tube in here. Now the directions call for like an LED diode up here and another few down here. So what I like to do instead is I put a 6-pixel accent strip in here. Now I've got it all acting as one right now, going back and forth and stuff. However, a little trick that you can do is you can break these 6 pixels out into 6 subblades if you want. All right, the first pixel will be down here, the 6th pixel will be up here, and you'll see that light up. You can make it do different things. So if you wanted to take the last pixel, or the first pixel in the series rather, make it do something else, it would essentially light this ring differently than the rest. So you can play around with that. I know that you like to play around with your config. All right, this is running the Scavenger font from my dude Jesse over at Kyberphonic. This is your board cover. We're gonna pop this off. As you know, this was originally a CFX chassis, but we sent all those back to Cal. We're doing the Lord's work and putting the Profi V3 in here. I did design a shelf. This needs an adapter. All right, so this is a separate piece that I printed out right here and I glued in because the Profi is thinner in width than the CFX, so that needed something to hold that there. All the wiring happens back here, so I went ahead and I put a piece of electrical tape over that so you wouldn't see that. It just looks a little unsightly when you have the board cover on. Whoops. All right, so we're gonna put the board cover back on. Copy of the config files on your SD card as always. 28mm KR speaker. This is your battery. This came with your kit, so let's pop this out real quick. All right, that's your of course your battery tray. Your spring or your negative side of your battery goes over here next to your kill switch. So when you do that, Make sure that you line that up properly. Snap that in there, and of course there's your kill switch. So I'm going to turn this light off real quick. We're going to flip the kill switch.
They're not with me.
So you can see how I got those 6 pixels doing a little something else here. I got your crystal up here just pulsing off and on. And these are doing a little something different, right? So you can break those out into sub-blades. You basically have 3 different sections there that you could light up to have 2 different things. So 6 pixels, I'd break each one into, say, 3 sub-blades with 2 pixels each. You'd get some really cool stuff going on. Just remember your first 2 pixels are down here. Your second 2 will be in the middle. Your last 2 will be in this region. All right, so turn the light on. If we want to operate this from outside of the chassis, we come over here and click this little tactile switch. That will show you your spinning plasma gate. Your crystal goes to matching the blade. And I got these doing a kit scanner when the Saber's on. So again, if I turn this off, you can see I was kind of scrolling back and forth here. All right. Twist off, but that's what it looks like outside of the Saber. Now, when you want to operate this guy, the first thing you want to do is you want to take your pommel. We're going to put the chassis in it. Pay attention to this J-lock piece over here and this J-lock piece. We're going to have to line those up with the grooves. So you can see a groove right there. You can see a groove right here, you know, right in the middle of those silver tubes that I told you at the beginning. So when we slide this on and we push this chassis in, we're doing it so that that groove in the chassis lines up with that J-lock system inside of your pommel, or on the side of your pommel right there. So that side's lined up, and of course that groove right there is lined up with this guy. All right, that's essential. All right, now we can take this guy. You want to line up this groove and this groove with these 2 screws, right? We just come over here like that, slide it in, work your way in nice and gently, don't force anything. Get it all the way in. When it's all the way in, you want to push forward and turn counterclockwise or clockwise, just like that. So now it is all locked in. We can come over here, we can open this guy. Now I'm going to do this quickly, and you need to do it quickly. If you just hold on to the power switch, it's not going to work right. I'm going to hurry up and click on and off of it. So you got your shine through here, right? Get your lit PCB here. It's a 1-button setup, so you can do it with your thumb with a little bit of practice. Blaster bolt deflex is holding it to the left and hitting the Saber. Now we're going to put a blade in. Now you've got 4 screws up here. 3 of them have been weathered. 1 of them I had to replace with a longer screw that was in your kit, because this one being longer than the other 3 is your blade retention. All right, so with a flathead screwdriver, you don't need to take it all the way out. I'm just going to back it out of the blade socket. You can feel in there just for a sanity check. Now these pedals ride super close to the blade. All right, so take your time, please, putting that blade in there. Hold it down on the pins. Come over here. Lock this down. Now your blade's locked down. We can hit power. Lock up because I'm holding down on this trigger. All right. Again, see, with a little bit of practice, you'll get that with your thumb. You'll get a feel for it. Very cool. Now we're going to break it back down. We're going to find that screw that's not colored right here. I got your blade plug. It is in your box. We're going to go ahead and grab it real quick while I'm thinking about it. But we're going to take our blade out. This is your very cool blade plug. All right, so we're going to put the blade plug in. Slide it in nice and gently. Whoops. We're going to lock your blade plug down. get some nice shine through there as well, even with it fully closed. Some cool shine through. Okay, then when we're done, we'll twist the handle again. We'll gently bring our chassis out. Do not force it. If the pommel comes off of the chassis while you're trying to get this out, that's okay. Just like that, that's fine. I'd rather see the chassis anyway. Remember, when I get to about right here, I'm gonna line up that screw with these silver tubes so it comes right out. All right, we'll hit power. And we'll come over here and flip the switch, and it kills power like it should. All right, so I'm gonna leave that battery in there because that is yours. We'll come over here and put that pommel back on and line up those grooves like they should be lined up. Bring this in. Find the J-lock piece, lock it down, and that, sir, is how you use your Scavenger hilt. So let me know if you have any questions, and this will go out in the mail to you, depending on when I hear from you, but hopefully tomorrow. Thanks, man.